Welcome in the PHNX Cardinals. Bo Brack, Frank Sanders hanging out with you, of course. Is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, wherever you get podcasts, and leave that 5-star review. You have no clue how many wonders it does for us. It helps us out a bunch. So if you go out there, give us a 5-star review. We appreciate it. Happy Friday to everybody. What's up going on? JL, yo. Hope everyone is having a great Friday. We're about to talk some Arizona Cardinals. Big docket today for myself and Frank. Frank just getting off the links, and he told me something very interesting before we kind of cracked these mics and got in front of the camera. We'll tell you what that is, but we're going to get into this conversation. We're going to wrap up OTAs, the Arizona Cardinals. Media wasn't out there, but they were still putting in the work today. They're back to work next week. Three more voluntary OTAs. Kyler Murray, we don't know if he'll be there next week, if it was just kind of a one-off this week. But, you know, was that the first and only time we see Kyler before mandatory minicamp? We'll get into that conversation. What are the expectations for the 2022 Arizona Cardinals? One NFL analyst says it's a playoff win or bust. Is that fair? Why won't Larry Fitzgerald? Why won't Larry Legend just officially retire? What's he holding on to? Why won't he just file that paperwork? Is he waiting for one more shoe to fall? We'll get into that conversation. But my guy Frank Sanders, how you doing on a Friday, my guy?
Bro, it's Friday. I'm loving it. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. That's a line from the R. Kelly lyrical
database
songs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, database. Thank you, brother.
We canceled R. Kelly though. We can't quote him any longer.
Hey,
it's not a good look. So we don't. He's just Robert to me.
I got too many. I got too many in my head. I'm sorry.
Now you were telling me you were out on the golf course today and you struggled a little bit because you were wearing shorts.
Yeah, when I put on shorts.
Look at that.
When I'm out on the links, man, and I'm out playing in shorts, I feel like I'm just kind of free falling, and we should be smashing a bunch of brews and just enjoying it and getting our tan. You know, get our tan on.
Oh my gosh, gunning out. Nice farmer's tan, Frank.
Look at that tan. I should get that tan popping. But what happens is, man, today the homies was out there smashing me on the front nine, and I just can't let that happen. So I had to flip the script, had to get my game face on before I got on the air, and I had to it didn't even matter whether I had on shorts or not. I just had to put my face.
What is it about shorts? Is it just a superstition, or is it the feel? You like the tight pants? You like the material on your legs? Yeah,
man. I feel like a pro, bro. When I tuck that shirt in, like when I wear shorts, I don't tuck my shirt in. I feel like a pro, man. I feel like I'm all locked in. You know, when I put on my football uniform, that's a certain kind of way you feel. And when I put my uniform on, there's a certain kind of way I feel. So when I'm on golfing and we're gambling, I feel like I got to be 100% in mental mode. If not, I'm just out there screwing around, and I like to screw around more than I actually like to kind of focus on playing it. But that's what it was.
My whole game is shorts. Then, if that means you're screwing around, that's my whole game. I agree with Sean in the chat saying you got it. It's shorts on the green. That's a must, 100, no doubt about it. So let's wrap up this week of Cardinals football. Kyler Murray made the surprise appearance that everybody said, look, until pens to paper, we're probably not going to see Kyler Murray. That was not the case. He was in attendance on at least what was it? Tuesday, I believe, of OTAs, and then they had a couple more days there where they were practicing. The media were not allowed to see that, but we did see him at least once, and he looked good. He was dropping some dimes out there. Not in attendance was J.J. Watt. He was actually part of the match. Speak of golf, he was a part of the Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, the match with Bleacher Report. He was kind of hosting court with those great quarterbacks, not including his own Kyler Murray, but he did talk that day that Kyler showed up to Pat McAfee, and this is what he said about his quarterback as far as what type of person Kyler Murray is.
He's unbelievably athletic. I mean, the guy does things that it's unbelievable, and you watch everybody try and chase him around out there, and I'm happy I don't have to do it. But he's a different quarterback. He knows that. He's not the traditional quarterback that you look at, either from a personality and media standpoint or from the way he plays the game. And I think that he has he knows that, and he's accepted it, and he embraces that, and he's going to do it his way. And that's what he's committed to, and that's the way that he's going to go about things. And obviously at the high school level and at the college level, he's been very successful with it. Now he's doing it at the NFL level, and he's going to be successful with it there as well.
How about it? So you're saying Kyler was there yesterday. Have you sensed at all that we talked to Steve Keim? Steve Keim was like, it's going to get worked out. Cliff Kingsbury, hey, this is business. It's going to get worked out. Bringing in Hollywood. The outside conversation seems to be a lot louder than it feels by anybody inside of it. And we get an accurate read with that. There's no thought about Kyler not being a Cardinal forever, right?
I mean, I definitely don't have that feeling. I mean, I think that you know how all this stuff goes. Like players, you know that this generally it always takes right up until the end of training camp this season. So nobody is fretting any of it because we all understand how it goes. I mean, my brother just did his deal last year. It took until the last week of the preseason. And that's just the way that these things go. So none of us are worried about it. None of us are fretting. And I'm sure it'll all get worked out. And I look forward to having Kyler out there.
It's the most times anybody said fret in a conversation that I've heard, but no big deal to J.J. Watt. It's no big deal to the players in the locker room. Frank, you shaking your head? You agree, or is that something that you disagree with?
No, I agree 100%. That's a vet speaking. He knows how it works out. That's the business side of it. Of course, we want all our ducks in a row. There's no bird in the hand and something in the bush. And nobody, you want to see everything what it is. And I think that's as a veteran, you just know exactly what's taking place. No one's in the locker room fretting over the fact that Kyler Murray's not there. Even if it got into, like he said, JJ is his own, Tyler, his brother, man, didn't sign his deal until 2 more weeks before the regular season got started. And that's just the way it is. OTAs and training camp is primarily for the rookies that are coming in and trying to get used to the system and the NFL speed. That's primarily what it's for. And if you got free agents and those guys that's coming in, it's for those guys. What to do. And that's primarily what it is. And right now, when it comes to the money and the locker room guys, no one talks about anybody's salary. I don't care if you walked in the room and said, hey, let me give you a list of who's making what, who's not making what. Guys would be like, I don't care, man. I'm not worried about that. If he's here on game day and balling, that's all I want.
Yeah, he's making plays.
Yep.
There was a boost this week when he was in attendance, but it's kind of been par for the course for the last couple of months before the draft when Steve Keim spoke out and Kyler went on his Twitter crusade. Like, I think that there was expressed good faith from both sides. And since then, there was one little hiccup. It was the first OTAs that Kyler didn't show up. But no big deal. The people who have been following this story realize that's a very real possibility, and it's not mandatory. It's not required for him to be there. This is his third, or he's going into his fourth season, so he knows this offense. He doesn't have to be there to catch everybody up to speed or to learn like new installs at this point. He's good to go, Frank.
Nah, he's 100% good to go. I say this here though, respectfully, of course, in the game of football, we always think that everyone needs to be there and you need to work toward one common goal. And the more opportunities you get with repetition, you think that, it works better for everybody, all that's involved. In the NFL, guys, it doesn't require that. Like literally during the week of practice of a game week, sometimes the guys don't even touch the field. Like JJ, as hurt as he was, he might not even show up. He might not even practice at all. He'll be at practice, but he won't be practicing. And so, therefore, we don't worry about those things. We worry about only on Sundays and what you're able to do Sunday, Monday, or Thursday night football. And that's when the lights are on, that's when you got to shine. So everyone knows right now the offseason is a business transition right now for our number one quarterback. If this was Colt McCoy not being there at practice, no one would care. If Colt McCoy wasn't there because he was holding out for more money, whatever. And it's the same thing right now with the guys in the locker room because they know Kyler Murray is that special. JJ said that 100%, and he wants you guys to know that. He's a special talent from high school to college and then the pros. He knows that he's a special talent, and there is no way on the planet Earth that he should diminish that by doing something they don't have to do. If I don't have to be at practice, I wouldn't be at practice. And if I don't have to be, I won't be there. The mandatory stuff is mandatory, Bo, and when it's time to be there, he'll be there.
it's really interesting to just see, the double standard for what the quarterback has to face and what the rest of the players, because DeAndre Hopkins is in Mexico. He's in Tulum. He's just hanging out with his girl in Mexico. He posted on Instagram. Everybody's putting in the work. Kyler, he's just raked over the coals if he isn't in attendance, but it's all good for the guy who's going to miss the first 6 games of the season. That's not an indictment on D-Hop coming off surgery, but nobody seems to care that wide receiver 1's not there, but QB1 better be there. There is this romantic idea, like your quarterback's in there, he's watching film when he's not on the practice field, and it's just like, that's not the way that the NFL world works any longer. And there are a few guys that do it, and Russell Wilson is one of those guys, but not every quarterback is the same as the other 31 starters in the league.
Now you're 100% correct on that. There are guys that are just they're homers, and they are the rah-rah guys of the locker room. And some quarterbacks believe they need to be there doing certain things. I will say this respectfully, man. NFL football season is a really, really long season for a number 1 quarterback, and I say that, Bo, knowing that we watched last year, man, that sometimes when Colt McCoy was on his second game of starting the second game, and somewhere in the midst of that second game, his arm talent began to diminish. And I told those guys, I said, it matters to have backup quarterbacks there for the purpose of helping him with his arm so he doesn't have to throw the ball so much. This is a long season, guys. So when you want your quarterback out there, you want him to be strong and healthy, that will happen. But just right now, to know that your boy D Hops is in Mexico, and we're talking about like he's in Mexico. I know he won't be there. JJ wasn't even at OTAs.
Right.
Like, you're so right that the quarterback is such a bad rap, man. And like K1, I didn't even know D Hops was in Mexico, but
right.
I'm not even mad at him because I would be in Mexico too.
Absolutely. That's because nobody questions D-Hop's work ethic. Unfortunately, this offseason, when the stuff started coming out of the woodwork in January and February, there's the Johnny Venerable tweet. I think Kyler Murray scrubbed his social media. After that, the reports came out about what happened or what didn't happen at halftime, or somebody wanted to pull themselves out of the game, or the Cardinals reportedly want him to work on his leadership and all this stuff. So people say, well, he's got to be there 100%. His attendance better be 100%. It's just not fair. Jalen Burr, Hop said Hop was there on Wednesday. I did not see Hop at the facility. He might have been. I didn't see him there on Wednesday. It's certainly, you can't deny the double standard that the quarterbacks have to deal with at the NFL level. And Kyler Murray, a guy who's staring down absolutely just a ton of money, $40+ million a season. He's got to deal with all that. I'm sure he doesn't care at the end of the day, especially when he puts ink to that new contract. But man, it's so wrapping up this week. They're going to be back in action next week, last round of OTAs, and then mandatory minicamp after that. We, of course, got all the action for you. PHNX_Cardinals. We'll have all the video, the pictures from training or OTAs there. Of course, we'll have you set up for training camp as well. I saw this week the Arizona Cardinals had some fun today. I want you to think about this in the chat. The best karaoke song that you can dial up when you're at the karaoke bar. There's some great karaoke joints in town, whether it's Scottsdale or Phoenix, Tempe. You got some great spots, but I saw this, and here's a couple of the Arizona Cardinals karaoke song. James Conner, a little bit old school, a little bit of old head. He says Jackson 5 ABC 1 2 3.
Okay.
I don't. That's going kind of a high pitch that he wants to go there to get old young Michael. Kelvin Beacham says Journey, Don't Stop Believing. I think that's probably played every night you go to the karaoke bar. Justin Pugh loves some Whitney Houston. I want to dance with somebody.
Is he singing it though?
JP,
are you singing that though, JP?
I'd love to see it. Love to see a guy up close to 300 pounds get up there and just bring the house down with some Whitney Houston. Antoine Wesley likes Yo by Chris Brown. Trey McBride, the new tight end. This could be a red flag. He said anything Taylor Swift. Yeah, it's a little concerning for your new second round tight end. You want some T Sizzle out there. I'm not talking about Terrell Suggs. DJ Humphrey says Teddy P love TKO.
Yes.
I don't know if I know that. That's that.
Yes. Oh, you want that? You need to get that tonight.
You think Hump can drop that? I need to. Yeah, it's my anniversary.
Yes.
Is that a great song to drop?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes. Yes, you want that TKO tonight from Teddy P. You want that tonight.
All right. Frank Sanders, he gives the approval. Isaiah Simmons has he says any Drake song. And then I like this. Zaven Collins bringing himself back after thinking Cold Stone was a mom and pop ice cream shop. He's dropped Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places. I think I hear that every karaoke. I don't know if it's cliche, but look, you get the bar singing along with you. I think that's a winner all the time.
Yeah, Sweet Carolina. You just Sweet Carolina. You cannot miss that at a bar. Like that's gonna rock off all the time. I think mine probably would be. I had Happy Feelings, man, by Frankie Beverly and Maze. But if I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, you see that Go Shawty right there? It's your birthday. We gonna party like it's your birthday. We don't give it because we don't give it. It's your birthday. That's your boy. That's your boy right there at the what you call it. But Trey McBride,
in a pre-show meeting, Frank was trying to play it off like he wasn't a karaoke guy. I know that's incorrect. That is not a fact.
You
are a
karaoke.
karaoke.
You said Speedo Jackson though.
Yeah, Speedo Jackson gets out. He just rips it at the karaoke bar every weekend. Just look for him. I don't know. You anything 80s you could drop. Anything 80s out there. It just kind of rips in the karaoke bar. I don't know. Anything beyond like 50? Like you like any like rock and roll?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I like any rock and roll.
Yeah, like
I mean, I can't just drop it off the top of my head, man. I'd probably have to hear it, and then I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's rock on!" And I'll start singing it and screaming it with the best of y'all. Like any rock and roll.
Like Pour Some Sugar on Me. You like some Def Leppard?
Nah, I can't say I don't.
You don't
know
like
that.
the hair stuff?
I can't say that I don't know it. I don't know the name and I don't know the name and the songs. Like in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, I grew up with classical rock, country. It was a mixed bag of music that came on the airwaves. So, but I can't say that I can name the names of everyone. Like if you want to name the 80s between, Wham or Cyndi Lauper or Madonna or those people, then I can.
Living on a Prayer would be a great karaoke song.
Bo, what's yours?
Well, what? I've been struggling to think what the hell I always like Get Out of My Dreams and Into My Car. That's a great 80s song. I don't even know the group that does that, but that kind of is a good 80s karaoke jam.
It is, but I mean, like there's like the people in the group chat, man, they know what they,
Yeah, I would some of these.
I can't cuss, Jason, just because this is not the kind of show to cuss.
Did you not just cuss like minutes ago?
Did I cuss? I might have.
I believe so.
I've been drinking.
Did I see Tribute by Tenacious D on there by Jason Sandoval? Any other suggestions in the chat?
Mine is Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield.
Okay. Oh. I like that. I know that. That's a nice, cheery, kind of poppy song from our producer, Leah.
Alabama. I mean, sweet. I mean, Alabama song, which I absolutely, since being an Auburn guy, I hate it. But when they play it, that's all it is, man. So Alabama song jams out. It does jam out with the crowd, though. Sweet Carolina.
I'm in a hurry to get things done. Is that what the Alabama song is?
No, it's like what's that Alabama song? It's like Alabama, like Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah. Okay. Some Skinner.
Like yeah. Like that, yeah.
1,000 miles. Is that the Proclaimers? I wouldn't walk 500 miles. Prince, When Doves Cry. Yeah, you can't go wrong with some Prince. Rest in peace. That's a great question. Kansas, Dust in the Wind. Jason Sandoval. I love when Will Ferrell sings "Dust in the Wind" in Old School. That's a great scene. He's singing at the funeral. But great suggestions in the chat. We appreciate everybody chiming in today on a Friday edition of PHNX Cardinals. I do got to tell you that the NBA Finals kicked off last night. A doozy of a game. It was the Golden State Warriors. What the hell happened in that fourth quarter? Is the Green Machine, the Celtics, coming back, winning by 12 after being down by 12. If you're ready for the NBA champs to be crowned, join the finals action on the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA bet and get $150 in free bets instantly. Looking to turn another small bet into a big payday during the NBA Finals with the DraftKings Same Game Parlay. You can do just that. The NBA season, customer placed $5 bet on a Same Game Parlay and won $5,000. Unbelievable. Create your own parlay by combining multiple bets, like which team will win, total threes made, total rebounds, and more. And boom, you're shot at a bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code PHNX. Make any $5 bet during the NBA Finals and get $150 in free bets instantly. That promo code PHNX, and only at DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Here's my DraftKings pick of the week. The Avs have been steamrolling the Oilers. 2 games in the series. My pick is the Avs. Just take them straight up tomorrow night for game 3 of that series. Former Yotes goalie Mike Smith is, I don't know. I mean, is he even between the pipes? I don't know
He's
what's going on.
struggling, and it's funny because Darcy Kemper, another former Coyotes goalie, is on the Avalanche, but he's currently injured. So it's kind of an interesting storyline with the goalies in the NHL playoffs right
I
now.
saw so many former Yotes, whether it was on the broadcast last night or it was on the ice. You're right, Darcy. We were robbed of our former Yotes goalie showdown. Darcy Kemper, he wasn't in goal last night, but we saw Mike Smith. I think he was in goal, but there was just black pucks whizzing by him into the net. You had Biz on the broadcast. You had a 4-letter word, Wayne Gretzky, as far as the Yotes go. He was on the broadcast, and you had former head coach Rick Tocchet on the broadcast. It's like you got Yotes all over the place. Speaking of former Arizona, I guess, sports members, players, and coaches, Larry Fitzgerald will not retire, Frank Sanders. It's interesting. We saw the other Fitz retire yesterday. We had Ryan Fitzpatrick officially hang up his cleats. Long, career, successful, never had a over 500 record, had some good seasons there. From the Valley of the Sun. I think he's from Mesa. Of course, went to Harvard. He could sling it a little bit, but that Fitz retires. Our Fitz, Larry Legend, has yet to file his paperwork. What's going on with Larry Fitzgerald? I mean, is he leaving the door open? Because he's leaving a lot on the table as far as retirement benefits, or does he not need that?
No, he doesn't need it. That's automatic. The rule states that after 24 months, you're automatically considered to be retired out of the NFL, and so then the clock starts kicking in. So within that window of time, he'll probably receive his severance check probably in a couple of months from now. He's going to receive a severance check saying, "Thank you, Larry, for your time of play." And then after that, of course, it takes a little while before he becomes a Hall of Famer. He's probably not want to be. He will probably not be one of those guys, Bo, that will seek any of the disability benefits that's out there. It's his money. He should go get it. I think he deserves it, like any other player that have played in the National Football League. He does not have to officially retire, because the NFL cutoff date is 24 months after the last time he played, that you become automatically considered to be retired from the NFL.
It's interesting. So there was a tweet the other day with all the retirements that came up. It was just pretty much saying it is wild that, Larry Fitzgerald hasn't officially retired. But then, Darren Urban brought this up on AZCardinals.com today. Leah, do we have this quote? And it's from 2017. I remember this. It was Larry Fitzgerald saying, I'm going to say this. If I were to retire, I wouldn't tell you. I would never sit in front of the camera and say I'm retiring. That will not happen. I promise you. I'm going to sneak out the back door. And I said, I've also heard him say this before. I've been in the media scrum where he said, there's not going to be a podium. There's not going to be any tears. I'm just going to fade into the background. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. So if anybody expects him to, pull a one-day signing with the Arizona Cardinals and him going up on a podium and saying all these incredible things that we want to see, we're just not going to get that. And we're just going to have to respect that. There are a lot of people that are their fans too, and I'm surprised by this, that they think they deserve him to say he retires, which I think is ridiculous.
Well, I never retired. I never walked in and, retired from a particular team. I do respect Larry's wishes on what he said prior to ever retiring, and saying that I'm going to sneak out of the back door. You'll never know if I'm going to retire or not. But I will say this here. I think when we go back and look at Larry's last 3 or 4 or 5 years of his career, the locker room changed so much between coaches, offensive coordinators, or quarterbacks. It just changed so much. And to me, I think that if you ever want to retire, I think you want to retire in front of your peers or the guys that you kind of played with. I think that would be more admirable in a lot of areas, because when you look out in the crowd, you want to see the people that you can identify with and say, yes, yes, yes. Let me say this here. At Larry's Hall of Fame speech, and when he's inducted as a first ballot, he will have those people out in the stands, and he will have the people that actually he played with. And I think that would kind of be a little bit more meaningful in some areas. I remember Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams never made an announcement, and he was a 8 year player with the Arizona Cardinals. Then he went to the St. Louis Rams, and he finished there with a Super Bowl ring. And just, again, another Hall of Fame career at the St. Louis Rams. But he never just came out and made an announcement. And that, to me, was I think some of the guys took that notice that the league had changed, and a lot of the stuff had kind of maneuvered where their friends and their people and their families had kind of moved out of the way. So, Bo, I'm not mad at him from doing that, because I know that when he's standing on the podium, he releases his bus, and they show him with the dreads and the big pretty smile, and he's going to be able to tell everybody thank you, and he's definitely going to tell the Arizona Cardinal fans and the fan base thank you so very much.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible speech, and I can't wait for it. What is it, 5 years? So does that clock officially start after the last down he played?
It wouldn't be the last down. It would be the last time that if since he never retired specifically.
So it would be 5 years from now?
It'd be, yeah. So like I said, from my understanding, the NFL gives you 24 hours, 24 months.
Okay, so 2 years.
Basically 2 seasons of never playing in the NFL. And then once they realize that, because you can take a year off and then come back, whatever it is. But I think that after 24 months, they have it in our paperwork that states they automatically consider you retired from the NFL.
I like producer Leah's comment here saying the Irish goodbyes of retirement. So that's exactly right. Now, I don't know if those in the chat, viewers, listeners, know how the Hall of Fame process goes. A media representative or a representative will speak on behalf of that player, and it's usually around the Super Bowl, and make the case for that player to be elected into the Hall of Fame and voted for. Whoever gets the honor of doing that for Larry Fitzgerald has the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, man. There's nothing bad to say about him on any part of it. His career has been nothing but stellar. Maybe the last year or so or two, he probably wanted to, be a little more impactful with this organization. I think 1 year COVID kind of got him a little bit. So, but I think that's the part of, having longevity and the time that he had. I do remember this moment is when Aeneas Williams, he went to the Hall of Fame, and then he came back one day at the stadium. Michael Bidwell did it when they did the releasing of his number in the stadium and put him in the Ring of Honor. He came back and gave a speech in the stadium before the fan base of the Arizona Cardinals, and it was a great moment with him and his family. So that might be something that Larry saw and might take notice of that too as well.
Yeah, those are great points. Incredible insight from our guy, Frank Sanders. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald transcends the football field. Like, as far as what he's done for this community and the NFL and beyond is unbelievable. I mean, he eulogized a senator and John McCain when he passed away. I mean, what athlete does that? Like, who's asked to do that? It's in what he said. His speech was beautiful. It's just when there's gonna be moments where we're gonna get to celebrate Larry Fitzgerald. You just have to be patient. It's just not now. What Frank's saying, probably 24 months, and then 5 years after that, there's going to be the Ring of Honor. There's going to be the Hall of Fame. It's not a question of if he's getting a statue. It's how many freaking statues is he going to get, and where are they going to be around the valley? So a ton of time to celebrate Larry Legend, number 11, the greatest Arizona Cardinal of all time, Frank.
Hey, Bo, can I tell you something that he told me that I thought was crazy one day? We was out playing at golf. We was at a golf tournament. It was Pat P's golf tournament at Superstition Mountains, way out in Apache
Junction
out in Apache Junction area, right?
What's P2 playing his golf tournament all the way out there?
It's like a membership. It's a special membership package. 7 golf courses out there, Superstition Mountain. So, but I'm out there with Larry, and he's hitting balls on the range, and he's like, "Frank, try my new driver. It's great." I'm like, "Man, I can't hit that. It's too stiff. I don't know what you do. How do you hit this anyway?" But I said, "Bro, tell me about the time you hit a hole-in-one in front of Obama." He was planning to force him with Obama, and he hit a hole-in-one. And I was like, "Bro, are you kidding me? You hit a hole-in-one in front of Obama. What do you think about it? You didn't feel anything?" He was like, "Bro, he put his pants on like me." I was like, "Get them out of here. You know what? Come on, man. That's the president. You hit the ball. You're playing golf with the president. Secret Service, but that's he's that's the part where you say Larry the Legend, man. He's been in so many rooms that I could say that me as a former player never had the opportunity to be in, and for whatever reason, that's a blessing for him. That tells you how much impact he has behind closed doors, folks. For the fan base, Larry's going to probably make a lot more changes than you think he's making, and things that are happening in the Valley. He's probably one of those guys that has a seat at the table, which is good because we know what type of character he is. We know that he's not money hungry, and that no matter what, the guy speaks from a well-rounded mentality of understanding the value of what he brings to the table.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And man, who wins on the links between you and him?
I never got a chance to play with him, but I'm definitely going to say me.
All right.
Me, without a doubt, me.
I want to see that. I want to see that showdown between 81 and number 11. We got to see it. Frank Sanders and Larry Fitzgerald. I got to tell you, summer is here. Pool parties, barbecues, enjoying beautiful weather. With everything going on, it's nice to feel protected. COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for the booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you. That's visit azhealth.gov/findvaccine for a location near you. Wrapping up a week of shows here on PHNX Cardinals. We have an extra show actually coming your way. It's audio only tomorrow. It was me and Johnny and Damian Anderson. We cut that show for a Saturday release because we had the day off on Monday, but no days off here at PHNX Sports. I encourage you to check out our friends over at the PHNX Coyotes. Great work as far as the arena news yesterday or this morning or whenever, late last night. The Coyotes, it looks like it's going to be a green light to Tempe, and also the new revamped PHNX Sports podcast every Friday. You got to check that out with Mac and Cheerston, wherever you find podcasts or live or on YouTube on PHNX Sports. So I did think this was kind of interesting as far as Adam Rank for NFL.com. He put together just kind of a rundown of the Cardinals offseason, 2022 offseason. They hadn't done too much. Of course, the tragic loss of Jeff Gladney and, how he expects this team to perform in 2022. He was down on the offseason, but he liked the talent in the house. And ultimately, this is what Adam Rank said, Leah. It says, win a playoff game. That should be their expectation. I'm not sure anyone is in danger of losing their jobs or anything like that. Kime Kingsbury were recently extended through 2027, with the organization committing to their good vision, but fans agonize when their teams don't win playoff games, and there is a growing cloud around the coach that I would like to see dissipate. That's Adam Rank of NFL.com. Frank, do you think that's fair that the Arizona Cardinals, after making their way back to the postseason last year, that it's got to be playoff win or bust for this team in 2022?
Absolutely. Just by merit alone, that you have one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And of course, I mean, we need to build up some offense, some defensive line, so we can have a little bit more chatter about that. I mean, we lost Chandler Jones. We still got JJ. So JJ is the chatter of our defensive line. But outside of that, and then we go directly to our secondary. But once you have a starting quarterback and an elite offensive players like we have, and D Hops, AJ Green, I'm never going to forget AJ Green, JC, and we have Trey McBride we just brought in, but Zach Ertz. This is an elite offense that we have. So I think, just the mentality of what you're supposed to have as a fan base is, or anybody in the media should know that this is a team that should be able to put up at least 25 to 35 points a game. If our defense can stop anybody, then that gives us a chance without a doubt. We are a viable team in NFL, and just by merit of the conversation pieces that we're having just about Kyler Murray alone, not just locally but nationally, you have to take that under consideration that this team is already expected to go to the playoffs and should be expected by our fan base.
Absolutely. I mean, the way that they've been operating under Kyler Murray's rookie deal and how they've been building this roster, it's a win now mode. And if they don't win, that's got to be viewed as a failure. Now, look, obviously we're keeping things in perspective. It's been progress each and every season. They go from 3 wins to 5 wins to 8 wins to 11 wins at a playoff berth, but then they get their doors blown off by the eventual champions, the Los Angeles Rams. Now, that kind of spurred some questions about this organization, the leadership from their front office, from their head coach to their quarterback, to whether they should pay their quarterback, their head coach and their GM, they get extended. that kind of heats things up a little bit for what the expectations are for these guys. And when you have, as you said, Frank, a player the caliber of Kyler Murray, like, you got to continue to take those steps, because anything that's not progress is going to be viewed as a regression. And if Cliff Kingsbury can't do it with Kyler Murray, they're going to find somebody else that will. I don't care that he's signed through 2027. They've got to take the next step, because that's what's been kind of keeping them going, and why Steve Keim is still with this organization and extended, and why Cliff Kingsbury got that extension is because they've seen the progress each and every season. And if that ever halts, that's when, the as far as the pitchforks and the flames are going to come out, and people are going to be outside of Michael Bidwell's house saying, you got to get this guy out of here, because there's too much talent with Kyler Murray in this roster for them to underperform.
What I like about Michael Bidwell and what he's done is given the Arizona Cardinal fan base players. Like, over the last 10, 15 years, like when I was here, we cut our players and we let them go to other teams because Daddy Bidwell had a mentality of how much he was willing to pay certain players and where his budget was for paying those players. Mike did not do that. In my last year, 2001 here in 2002, he began to sign guys. Him and Rod Graves took the initiative that if you're going to have a great fan base, you have to be able to keep the players that you want and to develop a team. Steve Keim has done that to the most part. He's gone out and signed, but we haven't really developed the team that we thought he was going to do, offensive line at all. But what I want to make notation is that Adam brought to the point. He said he's hoping that the conversation around your head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, begin to dissipate. That's the most important part right now, because you did a great job, and the stories have not lied. The stats, the facts on the table about Cliff is that the ending part of the season, things just begin to dissipate. The offense doesn't look good. It sputters, and everything else about you as a head coach begins to dissipate. And I'm just going to use that word till we get tired of it, because that's exactly what happened. And so I want that more than anything for him, because he is the catalyst to this team. Kyler Murray can do what he do, and he can do only what he can do, and he brings to the table. But as from when he gets in his third and fifth year, and once he gets to his fifth year, he can call the offense how he wants to call the offense. And I'm speaking about Kyler Murray. But the conversation piece, and we had Steve on the show yesterday, and he specifically said, if this team goes backwards and we don't get to the playoffs and we look horrible and we're like a 5-11 or 5-12 team, then that tells you right now that he said, even after the contract, that he potentially thought that Cliff Kingsbury could be out of here. I don't want that for this team, and I don't want that for Cliff. So he has to evolve and become the person that it needs to be, because I'm with you, Bo, and I'm exactly with everyone else in the chat, that if this team doesn't go to the playoff, it's just like watching the Suns again. You don't win the championship after getting to game 2, being up 2-0, and then you lose the championship. That's one thing. Thank God that the Suns finally got there.
Right.
Thank God that the Cardinals finally got to the playoffs. But we have to keep evolving and getting better to that next stage. And it's not just, round 1, it's round 2, and it's round 3 in the playoffs till we get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, in that journey, learning from that, and it comes with the, learning why you weren't successful, on that wild card game against the Rams, and how you get to that level when you witness it firsthand. And we see that. I mean, you see the development and the maturation of teams, and especially quarterbacks. It's like Peyton Manning came out and just absolutely just got embarrassed his first playoff game. I think Brett Favre threw 6 picks in his first playoff game, and then they come back, and the bright lights aren't as intimidating any longer. And so it's going to be key for Cliff and Kyler and the whole crew to have learned from that brutal performance against the Rams. What did Jason say? The Cardinals must win a playoff game this season. Can I see that up on the screen?
Yeah, or it's a failure based off the
failure.
Yeah.
As far as the chat, we had some chat from some good stuff from Jason and from Jalen. Here's from Jalen Blair. Jalen Blair says Bidwell will care that he signed, talking about Cliff and Keim, through 2027. The Bidwells don't seem like the type to eat just $30 million plus. Like, I don't know what we haven't seen any as far as the particulars of what they're going to bring home. But a 5-year contract, it's going to be a lot of money to eat. And sure, that's a family that's not that's infamous for not wanting to cut checks. That's for sure. As Frank just mentioned during his playing days, they started cutting players when they started to see success. Guys like Larry Sanders, he was sent out the door when he should have been signed to an extension. At least Kyler and the Cards are still young, upcoming, opposed to the Suns. Get off my lawn. God, Valley dude.
Hey man, he's speaking the facts. Look, it's definitely a win or go home season for the Cardinals. I always say this here, like once you put certain leaders in place and put certain players in place, the expectation level rises. And I think we all have a healthy expectation right now of this Arizona Cardinals team because of the players that we have in place. If we didn't have a starting quarterback, let's say something happened to Kyler, now Colt McCoy is our starting quarterback. No one in the chat right now would be talking about, we'd be talking about hopefully we can have a winning season at best. And getting into the playoffs would be, oh, thank God, one of those Johnny Venable cliches. Oh, thank God, please help me that this is the right if Colt McCoy is our starting quarterback. But in reality, we have Kyler, and the expectations are healthy. So I'm in agreement with everything we're saying. I know for a fact that Cliff has to show up and develop this team, and he has to grow to be the head coach that he really wants to be in the NFL. Guess what? He was in line for the head coach of the year as well, just like Kyler was in line, Bo, for the offensive player, the MVP player of the year. Mm-hmm. And they both stumbled, in the blocks, in the last 6 games of the season. And so they both got to understand how to get past that window.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's part of the development. That's and we've seen that in just little flashes with this duo since they came together when Kyler's drafted number 1 and Cliff he became the Arizona Cardinals head coach. Great stuff in the chat. I do want to tell you, of course, pumped always to talk about our new sponsor, OG's Brand. Stop by the local dispensary to grab some amazing scratch-made THC gummies from our friends over at OG's. Different flavors like blackberries and cream and watermelon. Perfect when you're in the mood for an uplifting sativa. We've got Frank's favorite edible, of course. It's that orange creamsicle gummy. Frank, you love it. Yes. If you're interested in trying that, got to check it out. Check out their website, the variety of flavors that OG's Brands has to offer. Just go to ogsbrands.com. That's OGEEZ brands.com. Find OG's near you. So Colt McCoy popped up on Instagram, Frank, a couple weeks ago, and now he's doing cameo. I think we got to get Johnny Venerable and his wife a cameo from Colt McCoy. Are we willing to pull some money? I can't imagine Colt McCoy is that expensive on cameo.
No, I can't. I mean, well, if you're doing it for if he's a Texas guy, yeah, absolutely. If you're somebody asking him from Texas to say, yeah, happy birthday to my cousin or happy birthday, grandma, right. Or
happy
congratulations,
anniversary, Johnny
happy
Venable.
Anniversary, right? Happy anniversary, Johnny Venable. I think that would be. I don't know. I would assume that his cameo has to be somewhere. Let's take a guess.
It's $150.
Well, I got that. Run that shit.
$150. You're willing to pay $150 to have Colt McCoy wish Johnny Venerable and his lovely wife, thanks for putting up with him for 10 years. That's got to be the message. Hey, it's Colt McCoy. Thanks for putting up with Johnny Venerable for 10 years, Johnny's wife. $150? I'm shocked by that. I thought it was going to be like $50 to $75.
That's low, man. Imagine but again,
you think it's Longhorn Nation that's driving that price up?
Yeah, that's low because like he's more accomplished in college than he is in the NFL, and he has a greater fan base in Texas than he does here. And so, honestly, if anybody in Texas is getting their little baby who grew up watching him play say that, I got a chance to get Colt McCoy to say, hook 'em Aggies or whatever, or look Longhorns or whatever that is that they say, whatever that is, and he says it, then you can't pass that up, man. $150. Let's do it.
Or you can splurge and get DeAndre Hopkins for $700.
Let me tell you what we're not going to do.
Aeneas Williams is on here for just $95.
See, you got a gold jacket, guy busting Canton, and he's under $100, and Colt McCoy's backing up Kyler Murray. Of course, he's the reason Frank Sanders has a tattoo on his arm for Cliff Kingsbury because he helped beat that ass in Santa Clara of the 49ers. There it is.
Okay,
yeah, we might look. I'm in. I'll Venmo. I'm in on the getting Colt McCoy to cameo Johnny for his anniversary. But man, I'm shocked. $150, man. That's breaking the bank. But DeAndre Hopkins, Strevler's $30. Let's make it happen, everyone. Chris Strevler, former Arizona Cardinals quarterback, might have to go with $30. I'm good for that. But Colt McCoy.
You don't want anybody saying who? Who said happy anniversary? Stevler. Who? Stravler. Who?
Was it last year for Colt McCoy's birthday? They got a cameo. No, was it Kyler's birthday? They got a cameo from Colt McCoy.
Really?
So,
Not 100 on that.
I can't remember.
Okay.
I'll do some research. But speaking of research, you want to learn more all about what's going on around the Valley, about what's going on with the Coyotes and their arena. Go to gophnx.com today. Become a member of the family. You'll get either free T-shirt for PHNX Locker, or you'll get the first month for just 50 cents just by signing up. It's time to redefine what it means to be an Arizona sports fan. It's time to go PHNX. Well, thanks to everybody joining us today in the chat. Great work from Leah, our producer, Emma behind the scenes. Frank, of course, brought it today. Tremendous insight. Could not believe what Larry Fitzgerald had to say about his hole-in-one in front of President Obama. If you missed it, hit the podcast. And while you're there, leave a 5-star review and rating. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have an incredible weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Don't forget, we've got an audio-only version of the podcast dropping tomorrow. Talk to you guys then. See you then. PHNX Cardinals.